So I kind of wanted to react to some videos from Candace Owens. She's becoming a grifter from what I hear, and what I've seen like clips of her talking like about Trump, like when the Israel and Iran thing started. She totally did a 360 or not 360, a 180 on him, saying that she regrets voting for him. So that's kind of like a grifter. Like if something goes wrong or you just on the wave because it's popular now, it's going to be a little bit. It's probably going to be more popular to talk mess about Trump because he's in power. So let's go ahead and react to some of the clips that are floating around because I wanted to see the unhingedness because I've heard that she is becoming very unhinged in the way she is having her show. So let's go ahead and watch it.
It is very clear that Brigitte Trogneau existed. It is very clear that she was, in fact, the sister of Jean-Michel Trogneau. And I think that if I am guessing what took place here, Jean-Michel Trogneau took Brigitte Trogneau's identity at some point. It's very obvious he kind of becomes his sister. That's what seems to be the most logical conclusion based off of everything. So the question that people ask is, okay, if you're operating under that theory, what happened to the real Brigitte Trogneau? And so if we are to believe that, I do believe that Brigitte Trogneau, the real Brigitte Trogneau existed, it's plausible that Brigitte Trogneau got sick, that the real Brigitte Trogneau got sick and perhaps had a dying wish to help her brother, Jean-Michel Trogneau, who was living perhaps as Veronique, right? And knowing that, okay, well, he's never going to be allowed to live his life authentically. He's always going to have to hiding, always going to be hiding and doing these sorts of things because this is just not a time where people are recognizing this transgendered identity. Well, what if she gifted her brother her identity? Here, this is not a thing yet. You can just become me. Okay, that's, again, we're surmising. There's no evidence that Brigitte Trogneau died. There's no evidence of that. But that's what it feels like to me. It feels like to me that Brigitte Trogneau did her brother, the real Brigitte Trogneau, did her brother a favor.
So if you don't know, I think she's talking about this French ambassador or something from France that's trying to sue her because she keeps on calling his wife a man, which is weird how another country can sue you for freedom of speech. I don't really agree with that. I'm on her side about this. But her sitting here saying this with no proof, like she thinks this is like a fanfic. It's so strange because she's a political commentator and she's making like a fanfic. It's very strange in itself. And I can see why people think that she's going crazy because like you're supposed to be bringing up facts. You're not supposed to just be saying your opinion in a full-on story that's not even existent. It's not even real. This ain't real. She's like making it up. So it's just very strange that she's saying all this.
Innocent people. Candace, come on. That's the difference. They experimented on twins. I mean, some of the stories, by the way, sound completely absurd. I mean, like the idea that they just like cut a human up and then sewed them back together. Why would you do that? Literally, even if you're the most evil person in the world, that's a tremendous waste of time and supplies. Just slice a person in half and sew them together. That just sounds like bizarre propaganda.
She's claiming that the freaking Frankenstein monsters that Nazis were doing on people were fake, like the experiments. And that's a pretty wild theory, too. She says that sounds like propaganda right there. It sounds like propaganda, guys. The Nazis weren't that bad. That doesn't look very good for you, man. If you're sitting there saying all this stuff and denying like the Holocaust and stuff, or trying to undermine it like a lot of these liberals do, you look crazy. You look like a leftist. This is something a conspiracy theorist would say. And she started to look more like Alex Jones the more she talks, which is crazy.
In the Middle East through the Houthis, through Hezbollah, through Hamas. I mean, that's widely accepted and recognized. They've done
it widely accepted. No, that's just kind of...
Really? You don't think they have?
Has been a terrorist state. Okay, Israel right now is imparting a genocide and a Holocaust on the Gazan people. So I'm really over this idea like somehow Israel has the moral high ground and we have to get behind them.
I didn't say that.
Because we got to go after the bad guys.
I wasn't saying that.
We have.
Oh, hang on. Look, we can come to Gaza where I think we'll reach agreement about what Israel's government's been doing there in the last few months. But
it's relevant. If you're going to call Iranians terrorists, if they right now had an open concentration camp where they were mass killing their own people, people, we would all be saying this is ridiculous. So it's rich to me
but
that
let's
people
park
are
the two things.
concerned
Okay,
about
but let's-
Iran having nukes.
but let's-
But I'm concerned about Israel, who won't even admit that they have nukes, having nukes, while at the same time, they are executing a genocide and a Holocaust in Gaza that the world is watching. So who's the bigger terrorist is the question today. I would
Iran and a lot of the Middle East, they are literally sitting there burning flags saying death to America. I haven't seen Israel do that. And what genocide are you talking about? The one in Gaza, the ones that attacked and killed 1,200 Jews, and they pretty much just threw a pillow at Gaza, pretty much for the most part, compared to what they did to their people. And it's just, I don't understand these grifters, dude. Like I honestly think that there's a handful of people that are grifters. I really think she's one of them. I don't get the gain. I don't get what you gain out of sitting here defending terrorists. Like, you're like literally terrorists. You're defending them. Like, there's a theory going around that these people are getting paid off by the Iranian government. Like, somebody from Iran is like, hey, we'll give you frickin' $500,000 if you say this, and they just take the money. So, like, she's going off of conspiracy theories. She's going off of stuff that's not even real. You shouldn't take political advice from her. Just like what I talked about the Hodge twins, you should not take political advice from these people because they don't have sound facts. They're not standing on facts. She's just speaking out of the side of her neck. Where is this genocide happening? Where's your proof at? Are you're comparing them to the Nazis, which is strange because they were being destroyed by the Nazis. Like, it's a really weird time that we live in that Jews are being called Nazis. So this one's new. I guess she talked to Harvey Weinstein. I thought this dude was dead, but I guess it's just Jeffrey Epstein. Harvey Weinstein is in prison, and she's trying to get some stuff out of him. I think she tried to, like, in the description, she tried to, like, get some information out of him about Jews, which is crazy. Like, she just outright just say you don't like Jewish people. I mean, at least you'll be honest about it.
But have you considered that it could be deeper, that there was somebody who wanted you put away, that there may have been someone who wanted your company? Because to me, there is just overwhelming evidence that you were set up here. It looks to me like a modern day hit. I don't know who you upset. I don't know what they were after, but it just looks to me like a rigged system and they took you out. To me, it looks like it was just a show trial. And
so he was caught for some heinous crimes, and you're saying it's fake. All of it's fake. He was the martyr per se of the system. That is, I don't know. It's hard to defend her, guys. It's like, I don't want to hate on her or anything like that, but that it's hard to defend when someone is just like, she sounds like Kanye West, bro.
The outcome was already determined before you even stepped into that courtroom. I do think that you stepped on somebody's toes. Like there's somebody's toes that you stepped on that you may not have been aware of when you were in Hollywood because you had a lot of power. You had a lot of power.
I can't say who.
Why not? Why can't you say who? What do you have to lose?
Because I'm not sure that I'm right.
Can you say, I think? Maybe. I really want to push you on this
trying to
point,
push
Harvey, because I think it's very significant.
Say the Jews.
You had the greatest movies that were in Hollywood. You had a lot of power. And I'm wondering if there was anybody in Hollywood that you may have been fighting with at that time. Just anything that could have been going on.
So it's just weird how she's saying, there's somebody you had to piss off. You had to step on somebody's toes. Like, wasn't he like graping women or something like that, right? If I'm right. So you're trying to disregard all that and say it's a conspiracy theory and asking them whose toes did you step on because she's stating that it was staged. Like, it was just a political show to show the USA that they're doing something. It's very strange. Like, that's crazy, man.
I think there's something bigger happening here.
There wasn't a fight per se, but the establishment, I would not say, was my friends.
Right. And what is the establishment in Hollywood?
It's normally the big studios, but I can't say that they were part of this.
Right. No, I'm just wondering, like, who in the end, who owns all those movies now? Who owns your catalog? What happened to your company?
We sold the catalog to a company called Be In, which is owned by the Qatari government.
No.
We sold the other part
Look at her face. She's like, crap. Don't say that. I want to say the Jews. The Jews.
of the library to a company called Spyglass and Lantern, which is owned by the Saudi Arabian government.
Very interesting. I'm asking these questions because my investigation into this isn't going to stop.
So I don't know, guys. I don't know. It's hard to defend her when these clips come out of her. It's not edited. It's not like somebody altered it. It's her sitting there just ranting about random stuff. And she just, I don't know, maybe Ben Shapiro pissed her off because I know that whole controversy with the Daily Wire and they let her go and she left on really bad terms. I can start seeing why they might have done that. Maybe they saw her being crazy behind closed doors and they looked at each other like, we don't want this at our studio. We don't want this at the Daily Wire. So, I hope more people start stepping out. I know there's some big conservative influencers that won't say anything about her because they're cool with her. But this is kind of unhinged. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, like I said, I don't have any hate or anything for her. I think she's becoming a grifter ever since she turned her back on Trump. But other than that, just by hearing these clips, she sounds pretty unhinged. I'm not going to lie. She sounds like Alex Jones. But what do you guys think about Candace Owens? Do you think that she's going off the deep end? Or do you think that just, right-wingers are becoming woke? I guess we're just becoming woke, guys. Go ahead and like this video if you liked it. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you're new. And I'll see you guys in the next video.